What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I am Brian and it has been a minute since I have done a pack review, but I am really excited for what is in this box because it is the latest and greatest offering from the Brown Buffalo. And I actually do have a Brown Buffalo pack behind me. And I actually bought it, tried it out, tried to make a review video, tried to like the pack, and I just did not like it for a very specific reason, and I never bothered to actually finish the review. I never actually used the pack, but there is a new version here in this box, and the issue that I had with the old pack supposedly has been fixed. So let's open this up and see what we have going on. All right, we do have a laptop sleeve. My goodness, this is actually much larger in person, in hand, than I thought it would be based on the photos. For some reason, the photos just make it look smaller. We'll have a look at that a little bit later, but let's get into the pack. So this is a Brown Buffalo ConcealPack 21 in UltraGrid, and one notable difference, this is made in Cambodia. The other pack that I have is made in the USA. Quite frankly, with these packs, I've seen a lot of packs made both in Asian countries and in the United States, and they really are, for all intents and purposes, equivalent as far as quality goes from what I've seen. Now I will take a look at this one, but just right off the bat, general impression is that the quality is there. It looks like it's very well made. All of the stitching that I can see is straight and nice. This is a very nice looking pack. So I have a very specific use case for this, but first and foremost, let me get into the issue that I had that I'm hoping is fixed. Okay, and that issue specifically had to do with the straps. And I can tell right off the bat, it is much better. The issue that I wanted fixed has been addressed. We'll try it out later, but specifically what I'm talking about, if I've got this pack here, you'll see the straps on this pack are extremely rigid, and there's actually a really kind of tough seam at the edges. So this edge is really hard, and in addition to that, there is a kind of hard reinforced plastic plate in this. You can kind of see it, the edge of it right there, and it goes all the way down just through the entire strap. It makes this strap incredibly, incredibly rigid. You can kind of see the form that it holds there. And what happens is, unless your bag is really weighed down, the straps just want to kind of plop up on you. So see if I can demonstrate that with this real quick. But long story short, the issue has been addressed, so I don't think I'm going to belabor this point beyond just acknowledging that for me, it was an issue on this previous pack, kind of where it just doesn't want to hug me right, like it wants to kind of like pop out and do its own thing. It's just, I found it really uncomfortable and annoying. So this pack and its design has addressed that issue. That probably means it isn't, going to carry as heavy a load as nicely, but that's not a problem for me and the use case that I'm going for. So let me just give this a quick shot and see what we think. And already, yes, I can tell much, much, much nicer in terms of the way that it feels and hugs. Just right off the bat, no discomfort, just kind of like melts away into my shoulder blades. This is really, really nice. I am a fan. I'll load it up with a little weight and try it out in a bit, but let's get into the rest of the pack itself. The UltraGrid is a really fantastic kind of fabric material. It's incredibly lightweight, durable enough for my use case. So in this case, the reason I bought this pack is actually to replace a work pack that I have. I have this kind of Targus tote that has seen far better days. The handle's basically disintegrated, and I wanted something to replace kind of my office carry. So if you look at this pattern, you know, it's very conservative. It works great for the office, but it's also pretty unique. The UltraGrid is a black UltraGrid, so the grid pattern is actually done in black as well, so it's a really subtle look. But I think this looks absolutely fantastic for the office. Now, if we look at the way this pack is designed, there is one nuance to this pack that is a little bit different from other packs. We're going to start in the back, and it has to do with the laptop compartment. So the laptop compartment of this is completely enclosed. It's loop lined, so you can attach accessories with hook and loop, but it's also a completely enclosed compartment, and that can actually be somewhat problematic if you have a really large laptop. Now, I have a 16-inch work laptop, and my hope is that I can use it in this pack effectively for work carry. If this doesn't fit easily and well, then I've got to come up with a different use case for this pack. Let's try it out. Bit of a problem. Definitely a tight fit. What if we go at it this way? All right, so possible, you definitely need to have the right angle, but it does fit. So that's step one done. Now, I would again like it if the main compartment, like many other packs that I have, actually had the ability to access that laptop. What is this? Wow, it's got like its own dust bag. That's a nice touch. Nice job, Brown Buffalo. That is pretty cool. So into the main compartment, you can see I don't have access to my laptop anymore. Really rare to find a pack these days that has that completely separate compartment without kind of larger access at the back. You know, if you've got this side access, you typically can also access the laptop through the main compartment. Not the case here. I don't know if that'll be a deal breaker or not for me in actually using this. This pack being 21 liters, it is gigantic. I mean, this fits way more stuff in its main compartment than most 21 liter packs that I have. I would say it's probably closer in size to a 24, 25 liter pack. We can look at some things that I normally carry. My trusty dispatch camera cube fits in there with ease. Philip Robach admin pouch, and tons of space left over. It is just a massive main compartment. I love that the zippers go all the way to the bottom, so you can flip this clamshell all the way over, load this up real easy however you like. Again, the back of this is loop lined, so you can add your own accessories. I do have a couple from before that I've kind of amassed, admin panel, just kind of general storage that I could slap onto the back of this. Kind of like that. But I'll be honest, I'm really not personally a fan of this style of pack and these kind of accessories. Just, it really is personal preference, but not my thing. I probably will not actually use them in this case. Two large dump pockets on the other side. Really nice large mesh pocket for just throwing knickknacks and whatnot, cables, power chargers, things like that. It does say practice empathy right here. laser etched into some Hypalon. That's interesting. Dual zips on the main compartment on the front make opening and closing nice. I'll note there's actually dual zips on the laptop compartment as well, which is a really nice touch. Usually you'll just find one, it'll be at the top, it'll zip down, and then you zip up to close, but you can actually open and close this both ways, leave it in the middle. That's kind of cool. It's a nice feature to have added. The handle up top is beautiful. It's extremely burly, just really nice stitching. It looks like you got one large kind of piece of nylon webbing that then has a more narrow piece that comes in, and it's all overlapped and stitched together for just a really durable feeling and looking grab handle. I like that design quite a bit. And then into the front, you've got one pocket that has side access, and again, same thing here. It is entirely loop lined along with a little key ring. So, not my favorite style of access to come in through the side and then to have everything be loop lined. It's not necessarily the type of layout I would choose. I don't necessarily know how I will use it. Maybe put my wireless headset in there, just kind of throw it in there for easy access to that. But I think I'd prefer a horizontal pocket and or a little bit of organization. But again, with the loop liner, you can kind of configure it however you like. This is a nice touch that was not included on my other pack. A little bit of a key ring or something, that way you can hang a water bottle. I like that they included that. That's very helpful because now I don't need to go and source one for myself, especially because this pack does not have water bottle pockets on the outside or the inside. All right, I will go over my kind of final thoughts about this in just a second, but let me put this on while I've got some weight on it with my laptop and see what I think of these straps. I will be honest, I am really happy with the way this feels right now, and that is a really good thing for a couple of reasons. So, first of all, these straps are a huge improvement for my use case. They are way more comfortable, padded and plush. There's no kind of hard seam or edge. There's no plastic reinforcement plate. These are just really solid feeling, but extremely comfortable. I'm a huge fan of this upgrade, and that makes this pack usable for me where the previous one was not. All right, so let me take my laptop back out real quick. And that's not too bad as long as I remember which side to come from. If you have a much smaller laptop, by the way, like this 13-inch ThinkPad, that just goes in super easy, no issue whatsoever. So it's really only the 16-inch laptops that I think you're gonna have to kind of angle to get in and out. The straps, interesting enough, are detachable via these clips. That's kind of cool. If you wanted to be able to get this thing off really quickly in a hurry. Not really necessary for a pack in my opinion, but the fact that they're there doesn't bother me at all. I like it. I think that's a nice touch. We've got the Hypalon loops at the top and the bottom on either side. The rear of this pack does have a luggage pass-through. Actually, it's got this really nice mesh across the entire back. And what I was gonna say is, the way that this pack sits on my back is like perfect. It feels really, really nice on my back, and that's a really great thing because these days I'm so used to packs like this Azo that has a fully adjustable harness. So I like to fine tune all of my packs to feel absolutely perfect sitting on my back. And that's one of my biggest issues with many other packs out there that do not have an adjustable harness. It's sort of like it either fits well and nice or it doesn't. And I will say I'm very pleasantly surprised how comfortable this pack fits on my back personally. This luggage pass-through, it's nice that it's there. I'm not the biggest fan of the implementation just because I feel like if you really use this aggressively over time, you'll stretch it or just kind of, you know, put some wear and tear in this general area. I tend to prefer luggage pass-throughs that are maybe more adaptable, like something with clips so that you could take it on or take it off or replace it if it goes bad. I don't know if this material will stretch or not, the fact that it's kind of stitched in there. I'll just have to use it over time and see. It may be perfectly fine. Any other thoughts? The fact that the interior is this bright orange is really nice, high visibility, high contrast against the objects that you might put in here. I am curious, let's see, this admin pouch, will it actually fit in a dump pocket? Look at that. Very deceptively large how large these dump pockets are. So, very usable for that purpose. Overall, I will say I actually got this pack for 50% off because the Brown Buffalo sent out an apology letter with a 50% off code for anybody who's purchased anything from them before. So funny enough, my purchase of this other pack that didn't work out actually netted me 50% off of this one. Normally it's a $350 pack. I got it for $175. And at that price point, it is a complete no-brainer. The quality, the craftsmanship, the usability of this pack are worth every cent of what I paid for it. Would it be worth $350? I would say yes, if it is the type of pack where the design works for you. Now, personally, again, I like the adjustable harness on my very high-end Azo packs. I prefer packs that don't have hook and loop, just because I like to have a whole bunch of different pouches and throw them in. I don't like kind of things fixed in place and all these extra accessories that I have to buy. But that being said, this will serve the purpose of what I'm looking for perfectly. Extremely, extremely happy with this. And I forgot the one thing. Let's check out the laptop sleeve, because this thing is gigantic. And if I didn't want to put my laptop into the laptop compartment, because I don't want to have to angle it, I could slap this onto the back of the main compartment and put the laptop in here. So let's see if that's possible. Let's see if this is big enough to hold the laptop. Another dust bag. Really cool. Don't know why I need it, I don't, but really cool anyway. It is a snug fit, but a perfect fit for a 16-inch laptop. Have a look at that. Fasten it down, and let's see what this would look like on the back of the main compartment. look at that. That's pretty nice. I may go this route instead if all I'm going to use this for is work carry. The question now though is, can I get the laptop in and out of the sleeve easy enough if the sleeve is attached to the back? And the answer is, it's not too bad. That's pretty good. I kind of like that. I think I will probably actually go with this setup to start, just because I think it's going to be easier than going sideways with my laptop every single time I want to get access to it. Overall, really excited for this work upgrade. Funny enough, I mean, I do have this other pack right here. It is extremely similar in its style and it is adjustable. So in a sense, this one is redundant, but this pack costs 3 times what I paid for this, twice or so what the retail of this is. And I love this pack and I would be really sad if it disappeared on me. Whereas this one here, sometimes I leave my pack at work. Not going to be a problem if I were to lose it. Wouldn't be the end of the world. So in terms of everyday utility and abuse, I think this pack is going to work out a treat. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Do you have one of these? Do you like the layout? Would love to hear from you. It's been a minute since I've done one of these pack reviews. That's all I've got for this one. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you at the next one soon.